Welcome to day 27 of the Daily Tanya. Today we're starting chapter 13, the beginning of the chapter. Today's date is the 18th of Teves, and we're taking on game-changing inspirations from the Daily Tanya in 5 minutes or so. Today's topic is success bias, because today we learn in today's Tanya about the oath that each and every single one of us is made to swear before our souls enter into our bodies. And as we make this oath, we're sworn to strive to be a tzaddik, which means with our godly soul, taming our animal soul, but at the very least, not to be a rasha, at the very least, not to allow the animal soul to dominate over the godly soul. And then we learn that the second part of that oath is that even if the whole world tells you that you're a tzaddik, that you've figured it all out and your godly soul has tamed your animal soul, don't rest on your laurels. Do not become complacent. Because in your own eyes, you should be like a rasha, like a sinful, like a failing Jew whose godly soul is dominated by the animal soul. The Alter Rebbe explains that to mean in today's Tanya that not that you're supposed to feel like you're actually a rasha, like you're actually failing, because that's going to bring you to depression. Rather, he says, now that we understand what the Beinani is, now that we understand that the struggling Jew is the one who outwardly looks like a tzaddik, who outwardly looks like he's tamed his animal soul when it comes to thought, speech, and action, but inwardly he's still like a rasha. He's still struggling with his animal soul within. That's what it means to be like a rasha, to be a Beinani. See, in other words, even if the whole world tells you that you're a tzaddik, don't let your guards down. Be strong, remain vigilant, because it could just be that your animal soul is still as aggressive as it ever was. It's just that it's remaining dormant. And now we can finally answer that question, which was the opening question of the Tanya. This leads us to two amazing observations. Number one, we come to realize that you have a choice. That you're not a slave, you're not a victim, you're not ruined goods. You are pure, and you have a choice to do the right thing. You can choose between your godly soul and your animal soul. But even more than that, not only do you have a choice, we actually have a built-in success bias, because God is rooting for you. God wants your godly soul to dominate over your animal soul. And the way that works is that your animal soul has a vote, but it has no veto. Only the godly soul has the power of veto. The godly soul is the one that's able to overwhelm the animal soul. The animal soul itself has only a vote. It does not have a veto. And the reason for that is because of the natural supremacy of the godly soul over the animal soul, just like the natural supremacy of light over darkness. The mere presence of light is what banishes the darkness without any effort. It's just automatic. In exactly the same way, the consciousness of the godly soul banishes the insanity of the animal soul. The purpose of the godly soul banishes the short-term pleasure of the animal soul. It might be appealing to sin. It might be appealing to do something or to say something that's just such juicy gossip, you can't wait to let it out. But if you wake up, if you just become conscious and you turn the light on, the light of wisdom, the light of reason, you can overcome it. An amazing observation that comes out of today's Tanya is that as we're made to swear this oath, to be like a rasha, which means not to consider ourselves in our own eyes wicked, but rather to consider ourselves at all times vulnerable, but also to consider ourselves empowered with the ability to make a choice, which actually has a success bias. Our sages explain that the meaning of being made to swear this oath, the word mashbim, to swear, also means masbi'in, which means endowed or empowered. In exactly the same way that we're made to swear this oath, we're also empowered and endowed with the strength to overcome. So no matter what your challenge is in this world, you have been given the toolkit to overcome your particular problem. So when you might feel a little hopeless, a little lost, a little insecure about how on earth you're going to ever land on your feet, it's this oath, mashbi'im, you're made to swear, which also means masbi'in, same spelling, endowed and empowered, that gives us the courage to know that we have been given the toolkit that we need to be able to overcome this problem. You don't have the ability to solve somebody else's problems. You only have the ability to solve your own. You have a success bias, and therefore we should be joyous in the awareness that we can overcome. We can do this. Let's try to apply. That's a wrap.